Mantra. This is Aditi Thatte, and today I have my good friend Sabina.
Hi Aditi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm so looking forward to this spectacular food.
Right, with all these colors, right?
Yeah,
Guess what?
Beautiful.
I'm taking you to an adventure today to the street foods of India.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, this dish is called pav bhaji in Indian, which is simply put, it's bread and vegetables. So the way it came about is people who worked in the textile mills used to be hungry and they didn't want to eat so much food because, you know, in the afternoon if you eat a lot of food in India, it's so hot. It'll be siesta time, then people go to work, you know, don't go back to work, they take a nap for 2 hours. So they came up with something light where the canteens or the little cafes, I shouldn't say cafes, but canteens.
Doesn't look so simple to me.
Right. So the cooks would just, you know, mix this all up and, you know, put things together, cook it really in a flat pan and serve it to the workers. So that's how this dish, so it's a mixture of simple vegetables, and sometimes, you know, you can do a lot more. In this case, we are doing potatoes.
I love potatoes.
And these are boiled potatoes, peeled, diced. They look a little funny here just because I've done it before, but you would do it fresh at home, and you just want to dice them up small like that. And then a half cup of peas. So I have 2 small potatoes, boiled and cubed, and green pepper. This is a half cup of green pepper.
Yeah.
And then tomatoes. The key ingredient to this dish are tomatoes. So that's 2 medium-sized tomatoes, chopped up, again
So
diced.
the more flavor they have, the better.
Absolutely. And then we have the ginger garlic, fresh. You take, to make about this quantity, which is about quarter cup.
Maybe, yeah.
So it's about an inch of ginger with about 4 to 5, and if you like garlic, you can do more. So that's, and you put that through a blender or a food processor, and you can add a little bit of water to facilitate cooking with that. You don't want to get it watery. You want it to be like a pasty consistency like that. Let's see how it is. Oh. So you just want it to be like that, like, you know, like horseradish, I think Pam called it in one of my earlier shows. So
yeah, it does look like horseradish, actually.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see how it smells.
Not like horseradish.
Right, yeah. I think you can sort of, the garlic is overwhelming.
It's a little sweet, even, almost, the garlic.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I think the ginger, the combination makes it like that. But if you do too much in cooking, like, you know, if you use 1 tablespoon versus 1 teaspoon, then it can slightly be on the pungent, spicy, and bitter too. Yeah. So depends on what quantity you use. So that's the ginger garlic fresh, and then we have onion. Again, key ingredient in this dish is also, in addition to the tomatoes, onion. And then we have cumin, which is used in almost all Indian food. These are cumin seeds.
Yeah.
You probably might
I boil my
to
potatoes with cumin seeds.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like salt.
Okay.
Water boiled potato.
Yeah, that's a nice simple potato dish. And then we have the turmeric, which all, you know, in Indian food is most of the spicy dishes are cooked with a little bit
Essential.
of that. You just need to get the color. This is really important. And then I have cayenne, just to give it some color. And
colors are fascinating. When I looked first at it, it was like the, like your painter's palette.
Yeah. So also, like, you know, when you go to the vegetable market in India, you just there's like plentiful of vegetables. So those are the ones that are fresh. You don't even refrigerate. You bring them home and then you cook.
Yeah.
So you know, these are fairly traditional. But then when you go to the market, like, you'll get like 15 varieties of spinaches and cowards and different type of eggplants. They call them brinjals over there.
Oh.
So
very nice.
So yeah, you know, I'll be showing you some pictures from there sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And maybe you can come with me on the next trip. How about that?
I would enjoy that. I love traveling, as you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So we go there for sure.
I actually went to India once when I was still in school. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where did you go?
For a short trip. I went actually to. I don't know exactly. We went to Sri Lanka at the time. So Sri Lanka. So
probably South India.
South India, exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you went to a port?
Colombo, I think.
Colombo, okay.
Yeah.
So if you touched India, it probably was on the East Coast.
Yes, on the East Coast.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Could be Cochin. That's one of the ports.
So long ago, but I remember everything was so colorful, like you described, the markets and beautiful.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So this ingredient here, it's a curry powder or garam masala, but it's different from the others. When you have garam masala, it's usually on the brown side. Mm-hmm. I think I've showed
orangey.
you this. Yeah. So this one has a little more pepper to it, in addition to the cayenne. So that's added in to get this color. And there's a secret ingredient, a special ingredient that makes it, that brings a tartness to it.
Every dish has a secret ingredient.
Right. It always has to be like it's spices. So this has a dry mango powder or like ground dry mango.
The mango, can you smell it?
Yeah, it's there, but it's very subtle.
It's so good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that makes this dish really special. Mm-hmm. But if you can get this, you can find it at any of the Indian stores. I think the closest one for us in Medfield is in Norwood. Yeah. It's up on Washington Street.
Before we go to India.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like traveling to like Little Italy, like that, like Little India. So you get everything, you name it. And if there's an ingredient that I can't find, she will get it for me from New York, or she'll order it for me because I happen to be her first client.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah. So customer, I should say.
Nice.
She's they treat me special. Okay, so we have all the ingredients, and like I said, if you don't have the dry mango, you would do the lemon. So I have the lemon here, and you would do lemon juice. Mm-hmm. I'm adding the lemon juice because I didn't add a lot of the dry mango into that, because it might not be readily available for folks that want to try it at home. Like you might want to go home and try it, but you don't have the dry mango, use the lemon juice. So you would use for the ingredients that I've given here for the 1 cup potatoes and the 2 about the same tomatoes. Yeah. You'd use a half lemon juice, or you can do lime juice. And another key ingredient is in this dish is butter. That's what makes it so special. And butter actually was a special ingredient for the workers because they really couldn't afford it. But done in bulk like this, they could do that. They wouldn't be able to cook with butter at home, but they would be able to buy a dish
that was made
with butter. And it worked out because, again, the textile factories would buy it in bulk. It was cheaper. They were not going and buying, because butter, you can get it like this now before butter was even made at home. So the people who could afford the good 6% fat milk would make their own butter at home. Like my mother-in-law and my mom used to make the butter at home. So they would churn their own. But
interesting.
For most part, the working class, they couldn't, the milk that they bought was all like watered down. So let's go ahead and make the dish.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited.
So Sabine, we are ready to do the pav bhaji dish. We went through all the ingredients. Remember that? So now we are going to cook that. So we have, let's say what, butter? A little bit of butter. That's good. Let's use that. A little bit of butter.
A little bit of butter.
Quite a bit. So the more butter that you use, it'll be better. I sound like Paula Deen. So
more butter.
Okay. Just a little bit. Right?
A little bit more.
Okay. She's brave. This is the green pepper, diced green pepper.
So
that's the first.
Get a little soft.
Right. And it's kind of unusual. Usually you add onions first.
Yeah.
But in this dish you don't. You just do the peppers. And one more thing is that you cook everything on fairly high heat. This is kind of like Chinese stir fry. The wok, and then everything is like on high heat. You need to keep doing it.
And stirring it a little.
Yeah. So it would be nice to have a commercial grade kitchen, but I have what I have.
Very nice kitchen.
Right? Oh, thank you. So once you stir a little bit, again in the interest of time.
Yeah. Add a little water.
Yeah. Add a little water, and when you cook it, it'll be sizzling a little bit more. But so again, you use up to a cup to a cup and a half water, depending on how it cooks and retains. So you can already see that it's softening.
Yes, it is.
So basically, you just
turn the heat a little up.
Yeah, you can do a little bit more.
Nope, that was the wrong one.
Okay, so that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, it just
when it goes up, makes that noise. So then you want to cook it down till the water evaporates in this case, but I'm not going to wait to do that.
Evaporating.
And then now we have the ginger garlic, a teaspoon. Okay.
Stir, stir.
See how you can turn it up a little bit more. Again, like I said, everything high heat. And then we'll do some turmeric, half teaspoon. Do you think that was a half teaspoon? I don't measure.
More maybe?
Okay, but we don't mind. And a pinch of cayenne. You really don't want to do a whole lot because it'll make it hot. Because also we are adding the other curry powder with the dry mango.
Another hot ingredient.
Right. And again, if you like it hot, you can do more, but you don't want to be very brave in this one. Right.
The peppers.
Yeah, that's cooking. And then I'm adding the cumin, half teaspoon. It's about half.
That makes a good smell too.
Right. And then I have the curry powder. This already has some cayenne added to it.
And also it thickens it a little, right?
It does. See how it does?
Yeah.
I think when you add the spices, it all comes together.
Yes.
And then, remember you also have the butter in there.
Yes.
Time for a little more butter. Absolutely.
A little more butter. Tiny bit.
Tiny bit.
Okay, a tiny bit more. Yeah.
So then at this point you would also add salt.
Okay.
And a touch of sugar, because I'm adding tomatoes. Every time I use tomatoes, I add a little bit of sugar, because I think you also said that you add a touch of sugar. And were you saying something about
you're making coffee?
Right,
my
right.
mom, yeah, exactly. She told me it tastes better if you add a touch of sugar. If you
so keep going and just add this.
Okay.
So that's tomatoes. So basically, another thing you can use with this dish is that you would use a potato masher. So you can keep doing that too. You can, if you don't have this, you can use the back of a spoon too, the wooden spoon. It'll kind of do it, but this one you're adding a little more pressure. So it's a great way of getting your kids, not very young kids, but kids who are old enough to be able to handle the heat at the stove. You can do that. So sometimes if I'm really cooking it, on high heat, once everything starts coming together, I do this, both. Like I'm feeding this and I'm cooking that. So I would probably let you do that too.
Okay.
So then the next ingredient, we did the tomatoes, and you want to get it all like, kind of like a rough puree. Then add peas. And get the last one out there too. And the potatoes, when you cook them, when you boil them, they're much softer than if you put it in the refrigerator, then they harden up a little bit.
Yeah,
So you want to do, when you're making this dish, you want to use the fresh. You like that?
Yeah, because it kind of gives it.
And like I always said, my mom said, put a lot of love in there. So put a lot of love and muscle, like not frustration, because you don't want that going in the food.
Not the wrong.
Right.
Feelings, yeah.
So, and I guess once we put those ingredients there. And this is the potatoes again, just
mix
like that. So it does take some muscle to do this dish, right?
Good. Yeah.
And at this point, I'm adding onions laid in this. If you see it.
Why is that? Why do you add them laid?
I think
so
you
that
don't want
stay more crisp and more. So they don't get too soft. Like if you put them usually in the beginning, because they need to be soft.
Right. I think this is, you're looking more for like a little bit of the green pepper flavor coming out, rather than the oniony. The it can stay not cooked so much.
Yeah.
So, because again, with the garnish, we're going to be adding the raw onions and, you know, and it's not a lot of onions. It's, you know, this is only about a half cup, where we had the potatoes and the tomatoes. The quantity was much more.
2 cups?
Absolutely, yeah. Then the onions. And then, so at this point, you would also add a little water. That's about a half cup of water. And with this dish too, you know, you want to see the taste. Sometimes as you keep adding the water, you might have to add a little bit more salt.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if you still find that it's tart, a pinch of sugar. And then if you don't think it's hot enough, then you add the cayenne pepper and the curry powder. So time for a little more butter.
Yeah. And a little more butter?
A little more butter.
Sure.
Just, yeah, I think that's it. That's
doing
it.
What you think? Tell me.
What do you say? That's you know.
Okay.
So the creaminess is actually coming from the butter in this dish, not cream or anything like that.
Good.
And do you need any help, or
no?
Are you fine with that?
Do you think I'm doing it right?
Absolutely. This is the way to do it. If you go to the streets of Mumbai, if you go to Juhu Beach in particular, that's supposed to be the best one in India. So you know, you would see this being done on a flat, like this.
Yeah, I like it. I saw that before. Like that. That's so nice and flat. So is this only for bread, or do you use it for
mostly for bread? Mostly for bread. I mean, you could make omelets and things like that.
See, now it's coming together.
You're doing a great job. You know.
Oh, my muscles.
Absolutely.
My positive energy.
And that looks to me good enough to eat on the streets of India. So,
and here.
So while you're doing that, let me talk about the buttered bread. So what we did was we did the butter with the curry powder, onion, and cilantro, and then just spread that here. And on the fry pan, we added a little more butter, as you can see. It's right there.
Yeah.
So you just, you know, spread that on the other side.
So in total, you probably use like a stick or something, right?
Not for this quantity, probably I would say half.
Yeah, for this quantity, half.
Yeah. And we'll use some of it for the bread too.
That's what I mean. In total.
Yeah. Hopefully not. Let's save that
there's a little
tablespoon. So I always save a little so that I feel like, oh, I didn't use the whole thing. It could be a little tiny bit at the end, but I still do that. So
this looks like it's almost.
It's almost done. The one thing that I haven't done in there is cilantro. So
I love
cilantro. The cilantro, and I'll just save a little bit for the garnish. I actually have some that I can use later.
Because now this one gets a little wilted in here, right? And then the fresh one is for garnish.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just gonna. You like cilantro, so I'm just using the whole thing in there.
And I will be the one to taste it too.
Sure.
So, ooh, it's made up the taste.
So now, basically, what I'm really doing here is with the butter, you just get it browned. I have the fry pan ready, and you want to, you know, on medium low. You don't want to burn it. It's just a little toast.
Yeah, exactly.
So
makes it a little brown, right?
Right. So when we eat it, basically you can eat it, you know, like a sandwich. Like, you know, when we were talking about the dish, you asked me if you could eat it as a sandwich. Yes, you can. Or you can do an open-faced like that. Yeah, because that's kind of finger food in India, and you know.
So this one here.
Yeah, that looks good. Do you like it?
So good. Can't wait to taste it. Okay.
Yeah, I love the colors.
Stirring heavy, I think.
Yeah, so that's kind of how you want it.
Yeah, it's bubbling.
And then, you know, when you have people over at a brunch, you don't want this at a sit-down dinner table or anything like that. It's not the most elegant, but it's really delicious. And you know, when you taste it, you tell me.
Yeah, I will.
So I think I'm happy with that. If you know, at this point, if you think that it needs a little more water, you could. But if it's, you know, this is the right consistency.
I think it's a good consistency like this.
You don't want it to be too thick. You want it to be sort of like a thick gravy.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it. I think it's time to turn the heat off on that, and I think the bread is ready too.
Okay. Nice and warm.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I don't really want it, you know. Crispy. So. There we go. Time to eat. Okay, Sabine, are you ready to taste the pav bhaji?
I am totally ready to taste it.
Okay, let me make one for you. And then again, like I said, it's any which way. You can have, you can do an open faced or a sandwich.
Yeah,
so
I think we'll do open face.
Okay, so we have the garnish here. Also, we did the lemon juice, cilantro, a little bit of butter, which is already melted in there, just a pat. And lemon, you can serve it with lemon wedges because the tartness somehow makes the buttery taste a little mellow. So here you go, and I will let you taste that.
Oh wow, so let me put this down and I try and open this up and put a little on it, and then I taste it.
So what do you think?
Good.
Yeah?
Very good.
Would you make this?
You know, the bread is a little sweet, is it?
I think the sweetness,
to counteract the,
absolutely, you got it.
Like you said before, to counteract the spice.
So it's like a balanced meal with, you know, so many ingredients in this. So, but it is pretty elegant for street food, don't you think?
If I eat it from this kind of a plate with a nice fork,
there you go.
It's kind of.
And also, I know you like knives, so next time I'll put a knife next to the fork for you.
This works fine without a knife.
Okay.
Because I have this too.
And I think slowly I'm getting you to, maybe I'll try, have you try eating with the fingers too. You know? That might be a stretch for Sabine, because.
Very good. Very, very good.
Yes.
So you should try it too.
Sure, I will. How about I'm going to take some of yours?
Yes.
And here you go.
So good. And done.
Okay.
If it's like you. Yeah.
It's really good.
Okay.
So, you know.
Didn't expect it otherwise, actually.
Okay, thank you, Sabine. Sabine, here we are again talking about street food.
I'm getting really used to cooking with you now.
There you go. I love having you. So, you know, you can come back anytime. This is another dish which, you know, India, there's like this rainy season. Once monsoon sets in, it seems like it never stops raining. Like, you know, the gray days of Boston never ends. Although right now it's a beautiful summer day.
Now it's beautiful.
But every time, the first monsoons, because the summers would be hot, and then, you know, we'd wait, pray for rain. And then the first time the monsoons came, it poured. It was warm rain, and all the kids, everybody, we would run outside. And when you came home, you expected to eat this dish. Your mom, it started raining, she went to the kitchen, and it was not just my mom, it was everybody's moms.
That's interesting.
And they would make the onion fritters. It's a tradition.
For monsoon.
Absolutely, it would be mint onion, which is the very traditional one. So you'd get soaked, you'd come back, hot chai, and onion fritters. So that's what you did, and it was like if.
So it's like an afternoon snack.
Absolutely, yeah. This is more like it's, you know, right now over here we do it as an appetizer. We don't have the tea anymore.
Yeah.
You know, we don't take the time for sitting down having a cup of tea in the afternoons. I know, yeah. And we did some the other day at your place, which was wonderful. So you know, this if you, for some reason, if your mom didn't do that year, you'd be so mad at her. So you just, I mean, if you're a mom, you go and do this. And so I do it. I keep the tradition whenever I can. It's not always the first rain, because here it rains all the time. So you know, and we don't really wait for rains or anything. It's rare that we do that here. So let's get started. So I have onions here. These are 2 large onions, and I'm just making a half recipe today for the sake of convenience. For 2 people, even if I make this much at home, my kids come and they're like eating it, and this is one thing that they say, Mom, why did you make this? But they're eating it. You know, because like it's deep fried, it's oily, but you know, it's so good. So don't do it very often, but when I do it, it's always like a big, you know, amount that I do. So here we have, the onions have to be like really thinly sliced.
Yeah.
So when you cut chop the onions, slice the onions, you kind of just, you know,
break
the best way to do it is use your fingers. Yeah. Impeccably clean hands, but that's the best way to do it. So you break it up. So it's, you know, not like really, and the finer you can get, the better, because the fritters actually will have a little bit of onion sticking out, and you know, it's really delicious. It's yummy. I add a little bit of salt to this at this point to just kind of sweat the onions without really cooking them. So about a 4th teaspoon at this point, and you can see like even right away how just like the water releases out of it, starts sweating. You see that it's already got like a little shinier, with the salt. So and then mint here I have rough chopped mint leaves, and I don't even cut them. I just kind of tear them. See, like when there's a leaf like this, I just tear it. And
so you say they get
right.
brown when you cut them?
Yeah, and you don't want to do it too early. You just want to, finish all the onions and all of that, and just do it kind of towards the end.
Okay.
So here I have, since we're doing the half recipe, I'm just doing half of the mint. And when you're doing, when I put it in the dish, I just kept some by purpose so that I could show you that you can just tear it up here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like perfection. Have fun when you're cooking, get the kids to come help you. The most tedious sometimes job is to get the mint out of the stock. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sit down in front of the TV, or something like that, so you're distracted enough and you don't know that you're doing it. And now to this.
Oh, that smells now. You tear it up.
Yeah, you like that. I just love the color too, the way it is. I could eat it as salad.
Lovely.
Some lettuce, tomatoes.
Yeah.
Eat it. And then with this, it's made different ways, but the traditional way, I am from South India, so the traditional way that you do it in South India is use rice flour, because rice is a predominantly used staple grain. So this is, I have a cup here, but I'm using a half cup. And with this, again, I'm using my hands just because that's the best way to
coat it. Really?
Right. If you use the spoon, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So I have, you can kind of feel it. If it's too dry, you add a little bit of water to it. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want it to be like you don't want it to be like this. You want it to be a little more moist, so that when you actually make the fritters, I'll show you in a minute.
Right.
You want to hold the shape.
Okay.
So.
So this would be too dry?
Yeah, right now it's too dry. But I'm also, having said that, I still see there's a little bit too much of the onions. So I'm adding a little more flour. So even though, if I say 1 cup, it's not exact in this, because it depends on the onions, it depends on the time of the day, it depends on, like if you do it in the winter, it might not be the same.
So they have to be coated but not totally dry.
So. And then at this point I would add the cumin. I can't get away from the cumin.
No,
I add it
everywhere.
And as you see, I use the seeds more than the dry. I'm using about a half teaspoon. And there goes the cayenne again. You like it hot, so maybe I'll do a little bit more. Because sometimes with fried food, when you do the heat, it loses it. Yeah. So you can do a little bit more. And I'm adding a pinch of baking soda. So
that does what then?
I think it just makes them lighter.
Okay.
And crispier.
Oh.
So I have all of these ingredients here, and now I'm going to start adding water to this.
Yeah.
Okay, and again, water, you don't want to overdo it, just do a little bit at a time. See how it's like started holding together, and
it's not quite a dough, but it's getting...
Yeah. So it's kind of like a thick batter.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be like a dipping batter, and you still want some of the onions to show. As long as you are able to coat, this looks good. I'm also going to be adding some hot oil to it.
Okay.
I already got the fry pan started in the back there on the stove, so when we go there, I'm just going to add some hot oil to that. That again makes it crispier. That's what my mother-in-law used to tell me. And you can also add fennel seeds to this.
Oh, yeah.
And if you needed to add any other spices, this would be a good time to do it. But you don't need to overdo anything with this dish. I think it's just delicious with just a very few ingredients. So that's another, let's say about a teaspoon. Now do you see how it's kind of coming together more like a dough?
Yes, it is.
So this is kind of where you want it. You don't want it to be more than that. So it's just coming together. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And if you wanted to taste test, you can do that here. I'm just going to add a little more salt because I know it requires some more. We just did it, and I like, again, salty food. Well, that might be a little too much, so I'm going to get rid of some. Luck over the shoulder. Yeah. Also, if the food is a little salty, deep fried, it just takes away the saltiness of the food. So that's a good way of remembering. Like you said, the cayenne does the same thing. So in fact, I think deep fried foods need a little bit more of everything, just because the oil pulls away and adds the calories. But you know, you can't beat the taste.
Nice and crispy.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get this going, and then once they're done, I want you to taste them. I can't wait.
Boy, it's best hard.
Okay, now we have the batter, and it's kind of doughy consistency. So as you can see, and I'm just going to put the hot oil, like I said before. So I'd say, it's sizzling. So I know that this is ready too. So it's a good sign. So I'll just mix it up. I know the oil is hot. I was just about to put my fingers in it, so please be careful, don't do that. And once that's mixed up, then you can. And also, you know, if you're not comfortable using your fingers, you can use a spoon, and I'll probably should show that first. So you would cut off a piece, take a little bit, and it's easier with hands. And then you flatten it. Yeah, not a whole lot. You don't want to get all the air out because you want it to cook inside, so you want to try to keep it light. Okay. Like that, and then you can do that. And now I'm going to use my hands because that's my favorite thing to do.
And it goes quicker.
It goes quicker, and also you keep it airy like that, like, you know. Yeah. I'm not making it, so I'm almost creating a little space, if you will, like that. And you want to be careful also. When you're sliding, I'm sure you've done some deep frying, although you don't look like you eat deep fried foods. You just kind of do it from the side.
We never do it at home, actually. No.
Okay.
I never made like fried.
At all?
Nothing.
Okay. But you eat them outside once in a while?
Yes.
Okay.
And I like it. Yeah. But I don't do it myself.
Dave and I, he got me addicted to some fries for lunch. Yeah. That's what we do all the time now. When Dave is here, I don't do it otherwise. So you're also looking for like a golden brown color. Yeah. I'll do a few more and then I'll flip it. You don't want to flip it right away because you want it to cook. And in this one, you almost get it like a burnt color, and they're crispy. Normally with the other fritters, you don't do that, but this particular one, it's also because it doesn't have a lot of water. And I'll show you to see. You're looking for that color overall, like a brown, golden brown, deep golden brown. Yeah. And you also can see, like, I'm standing a little bit away from.
Yeah, so that it doesn't splash.
Yeah. So anytime when you're deep frying, you also can, use the fryer if you're more comfortable with that. But for most part, I don't think we should own a fryer because we end up doing a lot of those type of foods. So once in a while, it's good to do fried foods. Yeah. It's good for the soul. Don't you agree?
I think it's good to do different things. It's nice to, all the variety you can. Yeah. So it's nice to have fried food once in a while.
Absolutely. I think one of the nice things about this one is that
and you can start doing and then continue doing, and then you just take the ones out that have a certain color.
And as I started putting the new ones in there, the temperature reduced a little bit, so you could see that, the sizzle went down a little bit. So it cools it also, I think. Otherwise, the temperature gets really hot. Yep. So the nice thing about this is that you can also eat this room temperature. A lot of fritters you can't, but this particular one, the onion-based ones, the onion mint, you can add spinach to it.
Mint is nice.
Like dill, my mom used to put dill in it. That was her, her special. Just a little touch of dill. You couldn't tell that it's in there, but something about it made it very special. And that was my mom's signature. And I think I do a lot of the mint.
Yeah.
Also because my kids don't like dill, so that's another reason.
It's interesting. A lot of kids don't like dill.
Yeah. And I think
like
it's sometimes whether you have it.
Salad without dill is no cucumber salad to me.
I think just a touch of special ingredients like that, it becomes a signature. It's something that if you grew up with, you eat it. Otherwise, like my kids are, they'll eat, but they'll also say, "What should I make? Pasta?" I'm like, "No, what do you want for Indian food?" And they have their few favorites. But it's when they leave home, then that's when they miss it. It's when they're home, like in high school, it's like, "Oh, you made this again for dinner," those complaints. But when my son and my daughter come back now,
they will appreciate once they don't live at home anymore, right?
Yeah. My oldest one, absolutely, the first 2 days he wants Indian food, and after that he's fine. But and he has a few of his favorites that I always make to keep the tradition going.
That's good. And do they know how to make it? I mean, your kids?
Yeah.
Do they
basic
make it
things
by themselves? I mean,
some of it. Sometimes he'll start something, and then, how do I do this? I get a phone call, or I did Google that, but it's not the same as yours. What am I doing wrong? That's what my son is. So my daughter is more of a experimental cook. She'll just throw things, and she's a really good cook.
So this almost looks like the first one, right?
I'm trying to see if I can get it a little more golden brown.
A little more.
Yeah. See how this is like the.
Yes, I see.
That's kind of what I'm looking for. So turn up the heat just a little bit. And so, do you think you'd make this, Sabine?
I think I'm tempted.
Yeah. Since you don't really do the fried food, it could be a surprise to your family.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it does take a while, but if you're patient, it pays off at the end.
Because they taste so much better.
Right.
All golden brown.
Absolutely. And
they have nice shapes.
Each one is different from the other, right? Like little crabs. Yeah.
Coming on.
Yeah. Reminds you of a little fish or shrimp. Yeah.
Octopus something.
So it's really hot. I'll wait just for a second or two till it cools down, because I'd like you to taste it. And I'm not going to add any new ones in here, just because I want these done, and then so we can sit down and have it. You see the smell?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it would not have occurred to me to put onions and mint together. See, that's what it is. It's the combination that makes Indian food to us so different. And
I think that's a great marriage, because a lot of times onions and mint, these two can go in almost everything. There are certain things, however, you don't mix. Like my mother, when she cooks, she never mixed the curry leaf. I don't have it here with me, but the curry leaf and mint.
Oh, because?
And curry leaf and cilantro. For some reason, she kept that very authentic. When she made the South Indian foods, they had the curry leaf, so she wouldn't do a lot of mint in that.
Oh, okay.
So, don't they look good?
Very good.
Okay, I want that guy to get a little more brown. So once this batch is done,
very crisp.
Yeah. And the nice thing is, when it starts cooling down too, they stay like that. They don't get, how if you fry food and leave it out, it just becomes moist and you can't eat. It
becomes somehow unattractive.
Yeah. And that's mostly because of the water content. This is very dry,
Okay.
So I think those are done. What do you think?
Very good. I think I can't wait to taste them.
Yeah. I'm going to turn the heat off. And once you're done, you also want to bring your fry pan away from the front. But something like, since the kids were young, I always do that as a precaution, even before I go wash my hands. So get that out. And you make noises in the kitchen, what can I say?
Looking great. Here it is.
And
nice color, nice shape.
Yeah. Okay, let's put that on a platter and eat.
Good.
Yeah. All right, Sabine, are you ready to try?
What it is. It looks delicious, and as you said, I have to choose the golden, the most. Yeah, I know. I take this one.
Okay.
I chose this one.
All right. These are the onion fritters, pakoras, and delicious hot or room temperature. But you tell me. This is just a yogurt mint dip. And I'm stopping you. I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, I just wanted to try and dip, and then tell you what I. So crisp.
Did you hear that? Like you could, yeah.
It explodes in your mouth, and then the mint. It's yogurt with mint again.
Because see, we also have the mint.
Yeah.
This one, the other, the Writers usually are a little more not as creamy.
So, it's delicious, and the mint in here.
Compliments.
Oh my God, Aditi. You're such a wonderful chef.
So this was again, very, very simple, everyday food that I grew up on, and I'm happy to bring it to all of you, and I hope you try it.
It's absolutely worth trying. I will do deep frying at my house, and
with this,
don't do
right?
it with this. Yeah.
And I can't wait to share it with the crew. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here. Dave, Andrew, Sabine.
Thank you.
As always, it was a pleasure, and I know I'm waiting on it. I will eat soon. Thank you for spending another half an hour with us, and thank you for watching Spice Mantra. I appreciate all your support, and for recipes, please contact us at info@Medfield TV. Thank you.